Hey, it's Dr. Amanda with StraightSmile Solutions, StraightSmileSolutions.com. Today we're going to talk about implants, timing. If you need aligners, do you do them before? Do you do them after? Do you place the implant before and restore it after? So I want to go over my personal opinion and limitations of implants in braces and aligners. So specifically, I would always prefer that implants are placed and restored after the ortho. That doesn't always happen. Sometimes the patients just go out and they get it and you're like, shoot, this really limits what we can do now. So remember, once you place an implant, it's not only that tooth that can't be moved, but it's that whole arch that can't be moved. And if that whole arch can't be moved, either up and down, in and out, then the arch above it can't be moved. So basically, once you have an implant in the mouth, unless you're planning to take the crown off and redo it, which is unlikely, you can only move front teeth if it's a back teeth implant. And if it's a front tooth implant, you're really in trouble. You're gonna kind of maybe be able to move some teeth around it, but you're not gonna get a good outcome. So always, always, always place and restore after if you can. And if your patient comes in and they have implants, it's going to really limit what you can do. And you need to make sure the patient understands that they're not going to get as good of an outcome unless they're willing. And if they're willing, I almost would rather get that in writing, to have it restored afterwards, because you're going to be moving teeth around it and that tooth is no longer going to be in occlusion. And if you don't grab a signature that that's okay, you're in trouble as the dentist, because you need to really explain. Sometimes it's not that easy to get a crown off of an implant, right? So I almost would rather the crown comes off before the treatment so it just doesn't get in the way, because it's going to get in the way. So, and then, you can do what you need to do, but you need to make sure you're not moving the teeth and banging into the implant, right? And I also wouldn't be necessarily moving teeth around the time in or after implant placement. I don't know if there's any personal research on this, but from my own personal experience, I feel like that doesn't work well, because anything that can happen when you're moving teeth around, you're getting an inflammatory process, right? That's just what happens. It's an inflammatory process. And you don't want inflammatory process when you want an implant to integrate. So let's say you place an implant on number 18 and then you decide to do ortho while it's integrating. Well, if that sucker fails, maybe it will, maybe it won't. It might have failed anyways. You might be liable, the ortho or the dentist who placed it, because you went and up and decided to do ortho at the same time, thus increasing the inflammatory factors. I know it seems like a one-off, but again, if something fails, and people dig into it, they say, well, why did you decide to do ortho at the same time? That was dumb. So things that people don't think of. All right, hopefully that was helpful.